Hello everyone, welcome back to another tutorial with me. Today we are going to make this panda. I'm going to be using mainly plushy yarn and also a little bit of medium-sized yarn just to make the facial details. So here's how she looks like. For the materials, first off, I want to show you the crochet kits that I sell. It comes with all of the material that you will need. We also have this in multiple color for the panda, including green, blue, and pink, and also black. So here are the list of all of the materials. The kits comes with all of the yarn that you will need, the crochet hooks, pins, needle, stitch marker, and the stuffing. Here is the stuffing bag, and then we have the plush yarn in white color. Here's the green color plush yarn. For the medium size yarn, we have pink and dark brown. And here we have the needle, the pin, and stitch markers. And lastly, we also have the crochet hooks that you will need. You can also buy your own materials. If you are new to crocheting, please make sure to check out my Amigurumi 101 playlist. In that playlist, you can learn how to make different crochet stitches along with the sewing techniques you will learn in this tutorial. First, we will start by making the ear. We are going to use the pink plush yarn. Start making a new loop by crossing over the yarn. Then hold that intersection and fold down the circle. Grab your 6.5 mm hook and start pulling through to form a loop. So now what you're going to want to do is, while holding on to the short end, pull on the long end to make the loop size smaller. The size of the loop should be closer to the size of the hook itself. And then you can try to adjust your hand position before you start making a sheen. Yarn over hook and pull through to make the first sheen. Again, yarn over hook and pull through one more time to make two sheens. We are going to make single crochet next. You do that by inserting your hook into the first chain, yarn over hook, pull through. See how there are two loops? Yarn over hook again and pull that through both loops. This is one single crochet. We need to repeat that 5 more times. So insert your hook, yarn over hook, pull through, and yarn over hook again and pull through both loops. Now we just made the second single crochet. We need 6 total for this round. And here I'm making the third single crochet. Okay, the fourth one, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through both loops. The fourth single crochet. And here is the fifth single crochet, last one. And once you're done, make sure to count your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And to pause your work, you can make the loop a little bit bigger to avoid it slipping off. And make sure to mark the last stitch of the round with a stitch marker so you know where each round ends. For round 2, first begin by inserting your hook into the next stitch. The hook should be inserted under the two loops here. Yarn our hook, pull through, yarn our hook, pull through both loops to make one single crochet. We're going to do the same for the second stitch and make another single crochet. So far we made 2 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. For the next stitch, we are going to increase. What this means is we need to make 2 single crochet in the same stitch, not in a separate stitch, in the same stitch. So here I just made 2 single crochet in the same stitch, and then repeat the same thing. So 1 single crochet in one stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and on the third stitch we're going to increase. Just take off your stitch marker first. So this is 1 single crochet and then the second single crochet on the same stitch. This is an increase stitch. Now that we are done with the second round, let's put the stitch marker back in the last stitch of the round. And let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You should have 8 stitches in this round. For round 3, all we need to make is 4 single crochet, 1 in each stitch. So I'm making the first single crochet in the first stitch. Now on the next stitch, I'm also making 1 single crochet. Now in the next stitch, make 1 single crochet. And now in the fourth stitch, make 1 single crochet. That's it. We're going to skip the rest of the stitches on this round, and don't worry about them. We're just gonna end the piece here. To finish off, you want to cut the tail. Make sure to leave a long tail because we need to use that for sewing the parts together. And the final part is to get rid of this loop by pulling the tail through. We can also take off the stitch marker and hide this shorter end of the tail inside the ear. Now you're going to need to make one more ear for the panda. Next, we are going to make the head and the body by using white plush yarn. Make a new loop. Now chain 2 times. And insert your hook into the first chain and then make 6 single crochet in total. This is the first single crochet. Now the second single crochet, the third single crochet, the fourth single crochet, the fifth single crochet, and then one more, the sixth single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And don't forget to make sure to mark the end of the round. For round 2, we are going to increase 6 times. Start by inserting your hook into the next stitch. Make 2 single crochet in the same stitch. 2 single crochet is equal to an increase stitch in this case. So I just made 2 single crochet in the first stitch. Repeat the same to the next stitch. So that's 1, and then add one more stitch. Add one more single crochet in that stitch. Okay, now we have the second increase. 1, 2, that's an increase. 1, 2, that's another increase. Now I'm on the 5th stitch. 1, 2, and on the last stitch, just take out your stitch marker. 1, 2, that's an increase. Count your stitches, but before that, let me put in the stitch marker. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Make sure you have 12 stitches. For the third round, we are going to follow a sequence and then we'll repeat that sequence for 6 times. The sequence is 1 single crochet and then increase in the following stitch. So that's 1, 2, that's an increase. So 1 single crochet and then in the next stitch an increase. So 1 single crochet, 1, 2, that's an increase. 1 single crochet and increase. I already repeated 2 times. You need to repeat it for a total of 6 times. 1, and then 2. Okay, we just finished the third time. 1 single crochet, 1, 2. 1 single crochet, 1, 2. That's the 5th time. Now last time, 1 single crochet on the last stitch, take out the stitch marker, 1, 2. After you're done, let's insert the stitch marker on the last stitch. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Make sure you have 18 stitches. In round 4, you will follow a similar sequence by making 2 single crochet, 1 in each, then increase. That's 1 single crochet. On the next stitch, make 1 single crochet, and on the next stitch, make an increase. 1, 2. Okay, that's an increase. 1, 2, and then an increase. Repeat the sequence for a total of 6 times. So here I just finished round 4. You should have a total of 24 stitches. For round 5 is very similar. The sequence is 3 single crochet, then increase. That's 1 single crochet. That's the second single crochet. That's the third single crochet. 1, 2, 3. And then in the next stitch, make an increase. 1, 2, that's an increase. So repeat this sequence for a total of 6 times. This is what round 5 should look like. For round 6, all we're going to do is make 1 single crochet in each stitch until we finish this whole round. So that's 1, and in the next stitch make another single crochet. Just keep going until you reach the end of the round. You are going to end up making 30 single crochet in total because there are 30 stitches here. Just make sure to count the number of stitches once you are done. For the next round, we're going to need to change from white to another color. I'm gonna use the pink color here because I'm trying to make a pink panda. To do that, you need to undo your last stitch by just pulling it like that. You're going to notice that there are 2 loops. Insert your hook and then insert it through both loops, just like this. It's a partial single crochet is how I'm thinking of it. And to complete that last single crochet, we're going to put a new color yarn on the hook and pull that through. Now we need to take care of the tails. We have a shorter tail with the new color and then longer tail with the old color. Kind of hold it in the back for now. So for round 7, it's gonna be the same thing as round 6. We're just gonna make single crochet. But in order to do that, you also need to take care of the tails by wrapping it around your hook in the front before you make a new single crochet. By doing that, you are securing the tails from the color changing. Once you make your first single crochet, you can cut off the tail for the old color and forget about it. Now we can focus on making round 7, which is just making 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Same thing as round 6. So this is what round 7 should look like at the end of the round. For round 8, we are going to make 14 single crochet, 1 in each stitch, and after that make 1 increase. So this is the second single crochet, the third single crochet, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, and 14. You can also count to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then you're going to make one increase after that. So in the next stitch, make one single crochet and then one more in the same stitch. Now we got an increase. Now you're going to repeat this same sequence one more time. And here's what round 8 should look like at the end of the round. Now we're going to pause here to add some facial details. I'm just gonna cut off the tails. Not too short, leave it some length since we are going to switch color after that. To make facial detail, we are going to start with dark brown medium yarn. You're simply gonna insert the yarn into the needle and then we can use that to sew the nose. For the nose, it's gonna be a vertical line on round 6. You're just gonna make by making that vertical line. And once you're done, you're gonna make a horizontal line on top of that vertical line. So right now I'm just embroidering the nose and the mouth detail. I'm going to wrap the yarn around the nose a couple times just to make sure I have the thickness that I want. Next, we are going to embroider the eyes. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. So essentially it's gonna be 2 stitches away from the nose. I just count 1, 2, 3 by starting from the closest hole to the nose. And same thing, you're going to make a vertical line on round 6 for the eyes. And then I'm going to wrap around this a couple times, make sure that the eye is a little bit thicker. So I think about 3 times is good enough. Now just repeat the same thing on the next eye. Okay, 1, 2. Oops. Alright, that's the right hole. Again, just make a vertical line on round 6. It should be the same round as the mouth. And we're just gonna wrap around the eye for a total of 3 times. The next step is to hide the remaining tails inside the head. What I like to do first is securing like the embroider portion. What you can do is you can insert the needle under another stitch, like inside the head, and then repeat that couple times to kind of help secure the tails a little bit. So that the eyes don't come loose. And then when I bring the two tails closer together, I can tie both tails to form like a knot, just for extra security. And then once you're done, just cut that off, and then we are good. Next, we are going to sew the ears on top of the head. Start by placing the ear on top and then securing it with a pin. It's very important to secure the location because you don't want the location to get shifted while you're trying to sew. That happened to me before and it's not pretty. So you can use a couple of pins to kind of pin down the ears so that it's fixed and does not move. To sew the ear, let's insert one of the tails into the needle. And then we're just gonna begin sewing. When I have to insert the needle through the ear, I like to do it from inside out. I noticed that the seam looks prettier when I do that. And then we're just gonna insert the needle through the head and then come back out. Oops. Okay, that's good. And then we're gonna come back inside out through the ear again. Yeah, we're just gonna keep alternating. After putting the needle through the ear, we're gonna put the needle through the head, mainly through the top part of the head. You know, as long as we can grab kind of like a loop or grab a piece of yarn on the head, we're just gonna pull the needle through. That's good enough. And then we're just gonna keep going until the ear is completely sewn. You don't need to stuff the ear if you want to, that's optional. once you're done, you can just remove the pins. And then please go ahead and sew the other ear as well. Now let's come back to the head slash the body. We're going to take off the stitch marker on that last round that we work on and finish it off. Insert the tail into the needle because we need to clean up some color schemes here. I'm going to insert the needle onto the second stitch away from that last stitch, and then insert the needle into the last stitch to clean, or I guess smooth the edge a little bit more. Now to secure the tail, just grab some yarn inside and pull the needle through. Okay, do it one more time. Exact location doesn't matter because all of this is inside the head. Alright, and I'm just gonna kind of stretch it out a little bit. We are doing this because we want to make a clean color schemes. Next, we are switching to white yarn again. Start by making a new loop. Then on our piece, somewhere in the back, the exact location doesn't matter. We're going to start making a single crochet. Okay, so that's one single crochet, and for round 9 we're just gonna single crochet around. What that means is make one single crochet in each stitch until you reach the end of the round. Now let's start round 10. For round 10 we are going to follow a sequence. It's gonna be 6 single crochet, then 1 decrease. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then for decrease, you're going to start by inserting the hook into the next stitch, yarn over hook, pull through. See how you have 2 loops? Insert the hook into the next stitch, yarn over hook, pull through. Now you have 3 loops. Yarn over hook again and pull through all of the loops. This is the decrease stitch. Now let's repeat the sequence again. So make 6 single crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to make the decrease one more time. So insert the hook, yarn over, pull through. In the next stitch, insert the hook, yarn over, pull through. and then yarn over and pull through all the loops. Then you're going to repeat that same sequence 2 more times. For round 11, we are going to follow a similar sequence as round 10. Instead of 6 single crochet then decrease, we are making 5 single crochet then decrease. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's make a decrease. Now you just need to repeat the sequence for 3 more times. For round 12, the sequence will be 1 single crochet then decrease. So let me start with making 1 single crochet. There we go. And then decrease. 1 single crochet, then decrease, and repeat this for 7 more times. Next, we're gonna take a little break to add in some stuffing. When I add my stuffing, I like to kind of push out the stuffing to the edges and then add more stuffing in the middle and kind of like spray it around the side, making sure they are uniformly distributed. Now let's continue round 13. All we're going to do is making decreases all the way around. The only thing you need to be careful is to not have stuffing get stuck when you're trying to crochet. So you'll notice that I'm trying to use my fingers to push down the stuffing so that the hook doesn't grab that. Now that we're done, let's finish off. Make sure to leave a long tail. I'm going to add a little bit more stuffing before we close off this hole. Now to close the hole, you're going to insert the tail into the needle and then we're going to sew it close. So insert the needle in to the next stitch next to where you finish off and then coming out the stitch after that. Then we're gonna repeat the same thing by inserting the needle into the next stitch and then come out through the stitch after that. Repeat that until you completely circle around to the beginning. And then I'm going to pull it tight so that the hole gets smaller enough to close. And then to secure off this hole, I'm going to kind of sew it close just gonna keep repeating it a few times because there might be a little bit of a gap, and then you can just kind of wrap around the yarn over to hide that gaps. And once you're done, you simply can just hide that leftover tail inside the plush. I'm using a scissor to help me out, but if you're using a scissor, please be very careful. It can cut into your stitches, so you wanna avoid doing that. Um, Something that is easier to use is if you have like a clean tweezer, you can simply push that remaining tail inside. There we go. Next, we are going to make a tail using white plush yarn. The first round is going to be pretty much the same. After we make a new loop, we are going to chain 2 times and then make 6 single crochet into the first chain. And as always, don't forget to mark the end of the round. For round 2, all we're going to do is make 1 single crochet in each stitch around. I also call this single crochet around for short. Once done, let's finish off with a long tail. And then you can hide that small tail inside. Next, let's sew the tail on the butt. But before sewing, we're just going to mark the location where we're going to place the tail. The tail should be on row 9 or 10. You can secure the location with pins. And now let's sew the tail. The sewing process is gonna be very similar to how I was sewing the ears. So I'm going to grab a piece of yarn on the body or the butt and then insert my needle inside out through the tail itself and kind of repeat that several times until the tail is securely sewn to the body. I'm actually not gonna stuff the tail because it's very small and because the yarn is so fluffy, it will hold its shape even without the stuffing. And once you are done sewing, again, we can just hide that remaining tail. I'm just gonna cut it a little bit shorter so that it's easy to hide it inside the body. Now we are going to cut out dark brown medium yarn and insert it into the needle. This is an extra detail that we're going to make, basically an X shape on the bottom of the body, because it just makes the panda looks a little bit cuter in my opinion. And once you are done, we're simply going to bring the two tails closer to one another so that I can tie a knot to secure it. And the remaining tail can just be hidden inside the body. Now the last thing we are going to make are the chic blushes. We are using pink medium yarn using a 3.5 mm hook. You're gonna start by making a new loop and then chain 2 times. After that, insert your hook into the first chain and make 6 single crochet. At the end of round 1, mark the end of the round. Round 2 is very simple. We just need to make an increase in each of the stitch until we reach the end of the round. Now let's finish off. Make sure to leave a long tail because we need to sew this to the face. And we can just trim off that tiny tail on the back. The blush should go on round 7 to round 8, right beside the eyes. Use the pin to secure the location so that it doesn't move while you try to sew. And now let's insert the tail into the needle and begin sewing. The sewing process is gonna be similar but slightly different from the ears and the tail, which those are three-dimensional shape. However, this blush is like a flat piece, so you'll see the difference. But essentially, I'm going to, grab some yarn from the face and then insert the needle back through the blush, kind of going um, from the bottom up, and then repeat the process by grabbing some piece from the face and then insert the needle bottom up through the blush just a couple times at the start, and then from that point on I'm going to insert the needle to the next stitch going from top down, right? And then let's grab some piece from the face, and then the needle will go back to that same stitch bottom up, and then it will go on the next stitch top down. And let's grab a stitch on the face. Now needle will go back bottom up through that same stitch on the blush, and now we move on to the next stitch top down. I noticed that this kind of sewing, I don't know the name of sewing because I'm not a sewing expert, it actually turned out very neat. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you.